Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be revising the character of Macbeth, and in this video we're going to recap his change throughout the play, examining how he shifts from trusted to traitor to tyrant. So Shakespeare opens his play with a valiant description of a captain called Macbeth on the battlefield who saves the whole of Scotland from a war of rebellion. And when returning from that battle, he and his best friend Banquo meet three witches who prophesy that he shall be Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor and King. And not long afterwards, King Duncan awards him for his efforts with the title of Thane of Cawdor, informing him that he'll be coming to stay at Macbeth's home in order to thank him. And obviously, this gets Macbeth's attention. This is when the trouble really begins. He sends news to his wife, Lady Macbeth, that this is what's going to take place, and naturally, as you do, she decides that they must kill the king and take the crown. Although reluctant at first, Macbeth is eventually manipulated by his wife and murders the king, marking his transformation into a traitor. Macbeth's crowned, but the power of the throne becomes too much, and he takes action to hold on to it no matter the cost. This includes betraying and murdering his best friend, interacting with the witches for a second time, antagonising a loyal thane in Scotland called Macduff, murdering all of Macduff's family, and slowly destroying the country that he once defended. And in the final act, he's ruling Scotland through a system of manipulation, deceit, betrayal and murder, ruling over it as a tyrant. And it's at this stage that his wife, unsupported by him since he gained the crown, commits suicide, and Macduff returns to Scotland to murder Macbeth, free Scotland from tyranny, and place Prince Malcolm, the rightful king, Duncan's son, onto the throne. And that particular sequence of events is really important because this structure means that Shakespeare is presenting us with a character of Macbeth who's a tragic hero. And in literature, a tragic hero is someone who begins as a character who's superior to others in some way. In Macbeth's case, this superiority comes from his bravery and the amount of respect that others have for him. But this esteemed character has a hamartia, a fatal flaw which will lead to their downfall, and in this case it's his ambition, his thirst for power, and here we see him spiral. We witness his downfall. Think about Macbeth's paranoia, temper, betrayal of others once he claims that crown. The reader of any text or an audience of a tragic hero eventually feel kind of equal quantities of anger and pity with that character, but they're able to identify that they've created this situation. And here Shakespeare highlights to the audience exactly that. Macbeth's decision to murder Duncan causes the problems that he encounters later on in the play. He's fully responsible for his own fate. Although, we could question if Lady Macbeth is. There is room for that. Until they eventually meet their death at the end of a tragic hero play. And obviously, we know that that takes place because Macduff returns to do just that. Why does Shakespeare bother to do that? The most prominent reason appears to be that the text is didactic, it's teaching us a moral lesson, and in this case it's a warning against how dangerous over-ambition can be. Think of it as his warning against greed or having ideas above your station. There is also the invaluable lesson that he tries to teach about power, that it's something that's incredibly influential, it needs to be treated with caution, with responsibility. And finally, bearing in mind that this text was written at a time when a new king has taken the crown, people are resisting him, Guy Fawkes has tried to blow him up, it highlights to a contemporary audience, or an audience at that time, that loyalty to the crown is paramount, and that James has been picked by God. Key quotations to consider for this character are "Brave Macbeth, well that he deserves that name. All hail Macbeth, who shall be king hereafter. Stars, hold your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. Full of scorpions is my mind. I bear a charmed life. Life is but a walking shadow." And Macduff's final description of Macbeth, "Hellhound." If you want to challenge your thinking and develop your interpretation of that character, why not go over the qualities that were expected in an ideal man at the time? Think about how Macbeth reflects and challenges those ideals of Jacobean men at different points in the text, but also consider to what extent you think he's restricted by that ideal. As always, thank you for watching, and if you require any further support with your revision for the upcoming exams, you can head over to my website, mrshillrevision.co.uk, for more free revision resources.